Alright, welcome back to the channel. This is race review of the FIA Manufacturer Series, Round 5 in this exhibition series. Alright, for this race, 23 laps around Fuji International Raceway. We must use racing soft and racing medium tires. Alright, after having a previous two decent races to start off the season, both of which occurred with 7th place performances, we were hoping to finally better that to the top 6 at least. Alright, at the start, qualified in P9 in this top split field. And a rather poor exit on the turn 1, having to drop behind the VLX Jaguar, dropping on into P10. One of the difficulties and challenges for this particular race, driving the Hyundai, is the Genesis is relatively slow in a straight line and maintains pace, being in slipstream. So heading down to the slow infield section the first time, we almost lose another position. And actually just a few spots behind us is our direct competition for second place, North America, for Hyundai. That will be the TPC Pooh Bear Hyundai machine. Rounding the final turn for this first lap, I figured, you know what, we're holding on to the top 10 finish. That'll be okay. The race will come to us as the driver serves a penalty in front. So up to P9 to start lap 2. Now I felt like I had a run, but I wasn't going for the move. However, I stuck my nose in there just a little bit, and in doing so, we end up losing a position back to 10th place by the Aston Martin of Zakona, who, however, for whatever reason, based on this current penalty system, got a 2-second penalty for that, which was totally uncalled for, just unbelievable. At this point, we certainly felt bad for Zakona having to then serve a 2-second penalty coming up. Oh, and we end up getting in the back of the VLX Jaguar, and we also get a penalty for it. So the Volkswagen sitting P11 is about to make up 3 spots as we go back to see what kind of contact was made. The Aston of Zakona gets on the inside, VLX driver hits him, we end up getting in the back of Zakona. Just an unfortunate racing incident with the illogical penalty system. And apparently tempers will flare here at Fuji. Now, I was a little bit discouraged having had a penalty, especially because the car's going to get slowed down, and who knows how many positions we were going to lose. So I was pretty heated at this moment. It's early on, we were sitting top 10, and now we have a chance at dropping who knows how far down the order. So we go ahead and serve our penalty. Now I end up breaking character, hop into the pits. Remember, I was already on the soft tires. I was on the fastest compound. Due to my anger, I decided, you know what, hop in and go ahead and put those mediums on and just ride it out and see what happens. So therefore I dropped to 19th position at the start of lap 3. Now skipping ahead to lap 5, I made up one position to another driver that made an early pit stop. Already we're up to 16th position. And around the final turn, I'm going to go ahead and let that faster Porsche driver behind us to have the position. And we're going to sit behind him, soak up some of that slipstream so we can save a little bit of fuel while also maintaining our medium compound tires. And as we cycle through the grid, VLX Dino in the BMW M6 leads from Dominican Sim Racing Team in that Porsche. Third place is Deuce. Fourth place, Phoenix Division 7's Grove. And in fifth place, driving the Fall Guys Nissan GTR is multiple Gran Turismo World Tour competitor Outlaw Quadrant. There's the SRT Viper out of Valicious. James Bond USA holding 7th. There's Kevin DDR in the Volkswagen, with the DNA duo of Spec Miata and Judoka, 9th and 10th. Cycling back, there's 14th place. That is the Hyundai driver we are trying to stay ahead of, as we are now in 16th position. Going ahead into the future onto lap 7. A couple drivers coming to the pits. And remember, we switched to the medium compound after just 2 laps. So we're up to 13th position now. So having been back in 19th up to 13th, I wasn't sure what I was trying to get out of this, other than, you know what, just stay on the track, save fuel, try and go maybe a lap or 2 longer than everyone else, and who knows where that's going to leave us at the end of this race. As we take a peek at the other Hyundai Genesis driver. Oddly enough, he's actually going to come out right behind us. So heading into turn 1 here on lap 10. And at first I was thinking, you know what, he very well may catch us. However, he has 3 or 4 cars right behind him that are going to put some pressure on. There is Apex Motorsports, Mr. Coffee, that's Java, holding on to P11, and my humble self in P12. Now I was starting to catch him a little bit, and I was thinking maybe he's on the medium compound. However, he was on the softs, trying to save those tires the best he could. However, one of the worst ways to save tires is when you've got pressure behind. So we'll see what happens here. This is Racing with Friends. Little bit of a poor exit. We're able to hold on and get inside that 1.8 second slipstream mark as we finish lap 10. Now he was starting to hold us up just a little bit. So what I ended up doing is I ended up going ahead and pitting at the end of lap 8 to get onto the softer compound. So after 2 laps on softs, we did 6 laps on mediums. just holding behind, trying to put the pressure on, but also not trying to overdrive the car, as we want to stay on the soft compound as long as possible. Oh, and the pressure has paid off as we get a really good run at the exit here on lap 11. As DNA Judoka peels off into the pits. I was really anxious about getting around Java because I knew the other Hyundai Genesis was coming fast. It closed 2 seconds within just 2 laps. We are certainly hounding that C7 Corvette, waiting for that one opportunity where he makes a mistake, and he does. He gets a little bit slidey, and we're able to make the pass stick. And we move back into the top 10. So let's check this out again from a different camera angle. Nice and clean. As I mentioned at the start of the broadcast, this was a top split race. During the course of an evening, there are 5 available slots, and generally the highest points paying finish is usually in slot 1. This happened to be slot number 3 for the evening. So some of these drivers already had the experience of figuring out what the track conditions were like in the previous 2 slots. So we attempted slot 2, however we had a disconnect. So we were only able to do about 5 or 6 laps until, well, we get the 0, we lose a little bit of driver rating, but we're going to come back stronger next time. And so here we are, sitting in 10th place, about 4 seconds behind the VLX driver, VLX Cortez. And slowly cycling through the field as we get up into the top 5. And still with a little over 10 laps to go, it's anyone's race. Anyone's race, that is, at least in the top 5. Having gotten around AMS Java, we have pulled away by about 1.5 seconds. But despite getting ahead, now we have to see which cars are going to come out of the pits and if we're going to be behind any of them. Ida Valicious coming out in his SRT Viper, and she comes out right behind us. So our strategy so far seems to have been paying off, having been sitting in 19th position at the very start. We're sitting in 8th place now. 5 seconds behind the 7th place Volkswagen Beetle. So there's a really good battle going on between that Citroen, Aston Martin for that 5th position. And also, like in previous races, this was a relatively high-scoring lobby. I believe the victory was about 285 points for the win. So a top 200 points paying race was available if we could finish in 8th place or higher. And notice our blinker, we're letting the SRT Viper know, you know what, go ahead, you're faster, you're on fresher tires. And once again, we're going to go ahead and soak in that slipstream. Hopefully save a little bit more fuel, and especially save our tires. Another driver comes in the pit, so we're actually doing pretty well so far. Despite giving up the position, we maintain our 8th place. And as we cycle through to James Bond USA in his Toyota FT1. Unfortunately, he disconnects. Very unfortunate. He was well inside the top 10. He's usually on the top 10 leaderboards for the FIA Manufacturer Series, and unfortunately, he serves the wrath of PD and gets the infamous black screen of death and gets a disconnect. Alright, 3 laps to go. And 100P, also known as Kevin DDR, actually forfeits that position. I think a lot of drivers at this point were trying to figure out, Swordsman, what is his strategy? I mean, he was nowhere up in these positions at the start, so whatever he's doing, maybe he still has to pit. Maybe that's it. As Judoka and VLX Cortez come into the pits. 2 laps to go, and we are in 7th position. We've made up 12 laps. Our strategy seems to really be paying off, because after all, we don't need to pit again. We've done our time on the medium compound. It's time to maximize the soft tires and try and save as much fuel as possible so we can make it to the end. And it seems like we're cursed now. This would be our 3rd 7th place finish in a row. But you know what? I can't complain. 3 7th place finishes in a row is very consistent, and that's what we try and go for when doing the FIA Manufacturer Series. I'd rather finish in 7th than in 8th. As we take a peek to the final couple turns that will lead up to the white flag, you got VLX Dino leading from Outlaw Quadrant. Dominican Sim Racing Team Montreux DR in 3rd, PX7 Grove P4, and Deuce LST right ahead of Ida Valicious in 5th and 6th. Now at this point they had about a 8-second gap back to myself in 7th place, leading the 2nd train. With a Volkswagen, our Hyundai rival Aston Martin and Jaguar, 8th place back to 11th. Taking a peek at 12th and 13th. As the rest of the field cycles around the final little hairpin to get their white flag. 1 lap to go. Cycling ahead, your winner of Slot 3 Top Split VLX Virtual Life Experience Dino for BMW. ESRT Montreux in P2 in Porsche, Outlaw Quadrant, Nissan GTR in 3rd, with PX7 Grove and Ida Valicious and Deuce in 4th, 5th, and 6th. And for the 3rd race in a row, top split, representing Nezo Racing in the Hyundai Genesis is myself, NRT Swordsman 52. So somehow we went from 19th place after 2 laps, switching our strategy altogether, coming home in 7th place. And once again, we get another 200 points, this time with the 212. There are the final results. And afterwards, there we have it. Sitting second for Hyundai, 27th in North America region so far. Thanks for watching. Bye.